What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're here at Highland Brewery, and this will be the first one of, I guess we can call it a series. This is kind of an in the bag. I'm gonna take the last weekdays of every fourth month and kind of do an in the bag of that selection of discs. So today being putters, we have all of the putters, and there is some overlap, and there are some places where I'm actively looking for two specific different discs. So we're gonna go ahead and show what I have on this hole. This is the short pad for hole number 3. Just gonna throw a couple of backhand hyzers. This is the Eagle McMahon range. Well, first throw out of the car, it might happen. This is the Champion Rhino flat top. Wow, I cannot hit the fairway right now. Maybe a little bit easier to hit the fairway with. This is the Proton Soft Parachute. Okay, now I can hit the fairway. This is the Lux Vapor Spore. And this is the Breaker, DGA Breaker in the Atmos plastic. And that was a nice run. All right, on to the next tee pad, and we'll talk about what I've got, why I've got it, and what I'm looking for. So the first thing I'm looking for is pushy stability at distance. As far as putters go, for me, that's gonna be up to 300, maybe 320 if I really hit it perfect. So that's what I'm kind of looking at as far as distance goes. Now, the Rhino is the most overstable of the three of these, but max distance on flat ground is 250. It just doesn't have the glide to get there. The basket is at 270. Let's see what the Rhino can do, max power. Yeah, max power. With a pushy tailwind, no less. That's as hard as I can throw a Rhino. And then you get into this, which, by the way, the Rhino, while it is overstable, and the overstability really comes in more as far as torque resistance, because it doesn't have the glide, it doesn't really push fade, it just kind of drop fades. So I'm looking for something that kind of push fades, but this Breaker doesn't quite do it. This Breaker, first couple of throws I threw with it, it was perfect. It's a little bit straighter than I wanted it to be. It's just laser beam straight with a tiny little bit of drift at the end. For this slot, I'm actually looking for something that kind of wants to fade, but has glide while it doesn't. The other stability disc putter that I have is this Cloudstone, and it has stability for 1 speed, but if you're trying to get 300 feet of distance, it is going to flip up and be pretty straight. All of those are very straight. Unfortunately, none of those really let me flex the disc. They'll flex and drop, flex and drop, flex and drop. Not really flexing and coming back to a straight shot. So I need something more like that. And then steps, the more understable options. These discs are hyzer flip machines. They flip up to flat so perfectly, but they basically only flip to flat. With enough headwind, obviously any disc will turn, and if I'm getting my putters to turn because the headwind is so intense, I think we have other issues. But the two understable, well, flip up to flat discs are the Parachute and the Range. When thrown on hyzer, they flip to flat and are perfection. The Range, if you overpower it enough, you can get it to flip a little bit, but the Parachute really doesn't do that. As long as I commit to a hyzer release, the Parachute just stands up for the entirety of its flight, and it's amazing. I don't have anything flippier, so I'm looking for something both more overstable and something that's more understable, because I kind of have 5 discs, well, 2 discs in one stability and 3 discs in another stability, and that's too much overlap and not enough options for some courses. So this is the longest pad for hole number 6 at Highland. We're gonna just hyzer flip them down the fairway. Parachutes first. It just wants to flip up. It doesn't really flip over, and with enough committed hyzer, it's gonna stay on hyzer, which is really good if you need that shot. But if you need it to flip because you threw it on too much hyzer, I want something that's even flippier. The Range is even flippier, but distance-wise, this is similar to the Rhino in that it just doesn't really go that far. And I grip locked it. Parachute is very neutral with a slight flip up. So 2 very similar options. I loved the Spore when they first came out, the Cloudstone. I still love it, but I think I need to take that out, keep the Parachute in to open up space for a more flippy option. And I think the Breaker's coming out for the more overstable option. But we'll see. We'll throw probably 2 more holes just to kind of really give you an idea. Might even add some forehands in. We can go ahead and throw a couple of the overstable. Well, we're gonna throw the Breaker and the Cloudstone. I don't want to try to throw the Rhino hard enough to get it there. This is 7. It's 264 to where the pin's at right now, but slightly uphill, meaning do you kind of have to throw it? But this is one of the holes where the Breaker stays too straight. Like it says it's a 3-2 or 3-3-0-3, but it doesn't go. And with this amount of headwind, the Rhino or the Spore does flip up. I promised you a forehand. I do actually use the Range on a forehand as well. I use the Rhino for a lot of approach discs, or for a lot of approach shots, and even some very short forehand tee shots. But this disc, I can get a forehand turnover shot with very, very easily. I kind of like the Range. So 5 discs is a pretty decent lineup to have for your putters. However, this lineup is lacking and overlapping. So 2 of these definitely need to find somewhere else to go. I need to pull these discs out because I need space for 2 discs that are on either ends of the spectrum, because right now I have a whole bunch of discs that are very straight and small minor variations of very straight, and I need some discs that do slightly different. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the 2 discs one more time. The Breaker and the Cloudstone. It was a really big toss between the Cloudstone and the Parachute, and for super long range jump putts, the Parachute feels better than the Cloudstone, so that's why I went the Parachute. But I really do like both discs, and it's not going away, it's just not in the bag anymore, because we need to put a flippy disc in. So for right now, I'll probably just stick a Watt in until I find something flippier. And then the Breaker, which is good, but not quite overstable enough. As far as the other 3 discs that are staying in, this range is Proxy, but shorter, or better yet, it's just a flippy version of the Rhino, which is my favorite approach disc of all time. And absolutely, I am putting with this disc. I putt with a Champion Rhino, and from long range I putt with a range. So these are my 2 putting putters, and then this is just so extremely neutral. You can shape it to do literally whatever line you want. We're gonna throw on hole 9 up to the right. And then that one went a little bit too far. Let's go Rhino. It's perfect. I love the Rhino. Now let's see if we can. A bit too low. All around, I think my idea about the lineup's good. I just haven't found the right discs. Hopefully you guys enjoy content like this. If so, please make sure to like the video. If you want to see new stuff, make sure to comment all of that down below. Especially if you have your options. Please make sure to subscribe. It helps you guys out with these subscriber-only giveaways. Definitely helps me out as well. And until next time, see you out on the course.